In this video we're going to take a look at how to control Worldox features. Now you want to start up your Worldox administration program, and then once it loads, go to Edit, Group Security, and then Features. Now I'm going to try to handle these in little groups here. Starting at the top, Add Edit Public Address Rules. Now you'll see mine is set up right now so that the group Everyone has that feature blocked. If you want to identify either an individual such as yourself or a group of people who should have the ability to set Worldox outgoing email rules, this is where you would grant that access. Now I'm going to slide my Worldox interface into view to show you what exactly I'm talking about. If I switch over to the Email tab, and then I go up to Edit in the menu bar, and Edit Address Rules, this is where you can define how the system reacts to outgoing messages that are to domains outside the firm, how Worldox responds to emails that are sent internally, and you can identify specific people and how Worldox would handle emails going to those people. So by granting access to this Worldox feature, then those people who have this access can go to the Public tab and they can define specific outgoing email rules that will affect everyone or groups within the firm. Next we have bookmarks. Okay, bookmarks are those quick access buttons that may be saved searches, or they may be buttons that navigate to particular matter folders on the network. If you want to have the ability to make these available to everyone, you'd have to grant access here. Again, you see the group Everyone is blocked, and then you can go in and grant specific rights to individuals within your firm that would then have the rights to create these bookmarks available to the entire firm. Now sliding my interface into view again, your bookmarks are these buttons across the top of the screen. So if I have that power, when I create these bookmarks, I will have the ability to make them available to everyone within the firm. Next, Favorite Defaults. Favorite Defaults gives you the ability to determine what favorite categories are automatically selected when the favorites list is brought up. So I'm going to bring my interface into view again, and then I'm going to go up to Favorites, and if I check off, you can see Excel is selected now because I've been working in Excel, and if I check off Word, if when I come into this interface I want those two selections always checked, I make that change, go up to Category, Set Defaults, the two checked, and because I have this control of this feature within Worldox, I can make this the default for everyone. The next feature, Add Edit File Email Defaults, this is what grants you access to the ability to create public quick profiles in the email tree. So what I'm going to do now is switch over to Outlook, and then if I go to my Worldox main folder, which gives me access to quick profiles. So if you have this functionality, you'd be able to go into Public Profiles, this tab, and create quick profiles that would be available to everyone within the firm. So making the change here, or creating that quick profile, would then make that quick profile visible underneath everyone's Worldox main folder within the Outlook tree. Back to our admin utility, File List Styles. A file list style is a definition of how the Worldox screen should look. So for instance, I'm going to bring my interface up, and if we just look at it, I can go in and I can tell Worldox what the list should look like, what column headers I'd like to have visible. Okay, which tabs should be selected across the bottom. Once I get the changes, how I want it sorted, date modified, ascending, descending. Once I get it laid out the way I want, I can save that as a style. If I have the ability to save this for everyone, then you'll see that option down at the bottom. Next, Add Edit Public Quick Profiles. Public Quick Profiles are the choices we have on the right hand side of the profile form. So this tab right here, that speed up the process of filling out the form. So that quick profile can either change to a different profile group, or it can populate the form for you based on how you set up that quick profile. Back to our admin program. Viewer defaults. You can see this one is no longer available, so it's still showing in the menu, but it's no longer available. Archive, move to, and restore. If these functions are turned on, then within the Worldox interface, you can right-click on a file, and down under More, you'll find Archive, and you'll see this is a selection move to. If you don't have it turned on, you won't see this in the menu. Likewise, if you are archiving, then you'll have an archive branch within your tree, and you can bring back something back from the archive by right-clicking on it. Go down to More, Archive, Restore. And what that'll do is put it back into the active folder structure. Checkout to mirror and other location are the options that you'd have in the checkout menu. So I'm going to bring up my Worldox interface, and let's go to a regular file. And if I right-click on a file and I choose Checkout, you see I have the option of Local Mirror or Other Target Folder. That's because these two options are available to everyone. Next, Close, Open Save dialog. What that means is if you grant this access to everyone, then within the Worldox various dialogs, so I'm going to bring up my File Open interface, your users have the ability to right-click within the title bar and cancel Worldox. Okay, and what that will do is bring into view the native File Open or native Save dialog. The next feature allows your users to go in and change the color appearance within the Worldox interface. So if you look within Display down to Appearance, this is where people can go in and change the various colors for the Worldox interface. The next one, Appearance Font. If you want your users to be able to go in and change the font that's applied within the Worldox interface. Show Hide File Filter. Okay, if you have this turned off or on, it's going to display the file filter, which is found right here, this bar right here within the Worldox interface. The next selection you see is no longer available, down at the bottom. Show Hide Tree. The tree is the left-hand portion of the user interface in Worldox. It shows the folder structure. Okay, so this is referred to as the tree. We usually leave that turned on and make it available to people. There is this button up in the toolbar that allows you to take it out of view or bring it back into view. But generally it is available to people to use. Copy to clipboard. Now this feature allows you to copy to the clipboard the path and file name information. Edit Create Date. That gives your users the ability to edit the date of creation on an existing file. So with the Worldox interface up, if I edit the profile for this file, with this feature available to your users, they'll be able to go to the lower left-hand corner and change the creation date on this calendar. Preferences allows your users to control the behavior of Worldox on their machine. So within the Worldox interface, found under Edit Preferences, they would have all these different choices available to them. Starting list. As you see at the bottom, it says the ability to determine which work list displays when Worldox first opens via the starting list choice on the Edit pull-down menu. So when you click on File Open in Worldox, the first list that typically pops up is your favorite files. Now I'm working in Microsoft Word, so it's my favorite Word files. If we go up to Edit Starting List, you can change that behavior. You can have Worldox open always to a particular folder. So I am now going to go down to Word, Open, click on the Next button. You can have it be an empty list, go to Favorite Files, which is the typical default, or have it navigate to a specific folder every time. And then you can also have Worldox determine whether this will be the setting only for that first file open in the program or for every file open. The Address Rules feature allows you to determine how Worldox reacts when you send email messages from your email program. copy duplicates. Typically when an email message is saved into the Worldox system and someone else in the firm tries to save the same email message into Worldox, Worldox will let you know that that email message has already been saved to the system. If you activate this feature, then we can save multiple copies of the same email message into Worldox. Copy messages and move messages are related. With these features active, your users will see the buttons in Microsoft Outlook, allowing them to copy and move email messages to the Worldox system. So we typically try to move in the direction of having only the move button present. So if that's the case, you would block access to the group everyone on the copy messages option, and then everyone would have access to the move messages button. Copy sent message and move sent message are related also. When you send an email message out, and as long as there is not a rule blocking Worldox from intercepting that message and allowing you to save it into the Worldox system, then you will see a dialog such as this. Because copy sent message is available to the group everyone, you'll see copy message to Worldox in this dialog. Because move sent message is available, you'll see move message to Worldox. So if you had blocked either one of these choices, it would simply remove it from this dialog when the individual is attempting to save the email message to Worldox. The delete messages option or feature right here has more relevancy for non-Microsoft Outlook users. What it allows you to do is when your Worldox interface is up on the screen and you switch to the email tab, you can select and delete emails through the use of this button. So that feature is either making this button available to your users in the toolbar, or it's not going to be there. Forward, again, is going to be on the email tab interface in Worldox, allowing people to forward email messages. We talked about move duplicates, move messages, we talked about move sent messages. Reply, same thing. On the Worldox email tab, people can reply to email messages. Reply to all, same thing. Save attachment unprofiled and save attachment with profile are two features that it helps if you can actually see this in action to understand how it works. But this is the combination of Worldox and when you're looking at emails in the viewer that have attachments. So at this point you can see that both of these features are available to my groups everyone. What I'm going to do next is bring up my Worldox interface, bring it into view for you, and I've run a search that locates all of my email doc types on the system. Now if I choose one of these email messages that has an attachment, such as this one, and then I bring up the view window, this is where you'll see this feature behavior. If I go down to the bottom, you see the attachment. And if I right click on the attachment, I have Save As, which will allow me to profile that attachment. I also have the option to right click, Save as Unprofiled, which brings up the native Save As window and allows me to save this attachment outside of the Worldox system. Signature gives you the ability to have your email signature appear by default. Now it's easier to understand this when you see it in action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my Worldox interface up on the screen, and let's say I want to email these 3 documents to someone. I select them, click on the email toolbar button, and you'll notice the email pops up, but it does not have my signature by default. So to add your signature, switch to the email tab and then go to Edit, Signature, and you can create your signature. Now it says add your signature below. When done, press Escape and save your changes. You want to make sure you have at least one blank line above and below. So I'm going to put a blank line in, put in a signature, put a blank line below, hit my Escape key, save the changes yes, and now when I go to email document, you see that my signature appears by default. Favorite files add and favorite files remove simply allows you to take a file and force it to appear in your favorite files list. And the buttons look like right click, down to more, right click, down to edit, favorite files, add or remove. So they'll appear right here. Audit Trail will give people access to the history of a document either through the right click menu or through the menu bar option. File Checkout and Check-In gives your users the ability to check out to the local hard drive or local device files that they want to work on when they are disconnected from the network. File Copy and Delete, pretty self-explanatory. If you're going to make a copy of an existing file on the system, the ability to delete a file. The next three are selection tools used within your file list. Very quickly, I'm going to bring up my Worldox interface, and those tools are referring to the choices you see in this column of checkboxes when you right click. Select, above, below, and so on. The file commands are going to give your users access to their toolbar buttons or menu commands for performing these different file functions. For instance, Edit Profile has to do with this button, or under Edit Profile. Email, the email icon here. Find is your binoculars. Invert Checks is a selection tool with the checkboxes. Move is this one right here. Open With is a right-click command. More. Open With. Print List found under List and then Print. Prints out the existing file list. Security, the padlock or your right-click option to apply security. Select Above, Select All, Select Below. Checkboxes once again. Send To is a right-click command. Send To. These are all Send Tos. Version Compare. If you have a comparison product installed, this button right here. If you don't have a comparison product, you probably want to remove that or hide it from the group Everyone. Version List would be this toolbar button right here, or the right click, More, Versions, List. File View is this toolbar button in the upper left, or the right click option to view the file. Scrolling down. Library is a legacy function, and we typically block both of these from the group Everyone. Options. Options Audit Trail Query grants access to the Audit Trail function through the menu bar. All of these path statements grant users access through the tree to different areas on their computer. So I'm going to bring up my Worldox interface, bring it into view for you. Here you see all the branches I have access to, which were defined in the path statements, as well as path network connect and disconnect, which is found under the menu option, network connect disconnect. Records, Move To, and Restore. Records is an alternate repository for your documents. So if they're not in your active profile group and they are not in your archive, you may choose to move them to Records. So it becomes a right-click option if it's activated. Right-click, More, Records, Move To. Relations List will give you access to the Relations tab, also found underneath List Relations, and also there's a toolbar button for Relations right here. So if you deactivate that feature or hide it from the group Everyone, then they will no longer see any of those three selections that I just showed you. Relations are a way of electronically stitching files together. And the idea being, if you find one file that has related files, all the other related files will appear down within this Relations window at the bottom of the screen. Salvage and Delete is the tool your users will need, or whoever you grant access to the salvage bin, to bring a document back to life after it has been deleted in the Worldox system. So provided for a profile group you have activated the salvage bin, then each profile group that has it active will have a branch for salvage. And then if you go up and select the file, then you'll have access to the salvage undelete option here in the toolbar. Secure, custom, hide, and protect are the three security options you'll have when you're profiling an unsaved document, or when you access the security function within Worldox after a document has already been saved into the system. So for instance, on an existing document, select, go up to the padlock, custom, hidden, protected. When you're saving a new file within the profile form, when you click on the security button, that's where you'll see the three choices. Table add, edit, and delete are the choices that you'll want to activate for your, well, what we'll consider your Worldox managers, or the people within the firm that you are going to give the ability to maintain your field tables. So if you are going to be manually adding clients, matters, document types, and so on, this will be the section where you will grant access to particular people. You block the group everyone for add, delete, and edit, and then grant access to the individuals that you want to have those capabilities. The inactive code section, so all of these items here, are for those accounts that do a good job of maintaining their field tables, and as clients or as matters become deactivated, you actually go into the Worldox system and deactivate those codes. Well, these allow you to apply different filters and bring in and out of view, and within your search routines, codes which are no longer active within the system. Version delete, as it says, the ability to delete versions. Edit the profile on versions. Each version can have its own unique profile, meaning it can have its own unique comments and document description and so on. So giving them this functionality will allow them to go and make those changes. The WD Web features are only relevant if you've purchased the Worldox Web component. Work Zone Disable and Enable. These will give you access to the Worldox interface through the system tray icon in the lower right hand corner of the screen. Worldox Exit Program and System Tray Open. Being able to exit the Worldox program by right-clicking on the Worldox icon in the system tray, and System Tray Open, as it says, being able to open the program through using that icon. This will conclude our discussion of the Worldox feature list.